Hello, thank you for joining from wherever you are, and today Daf is Daf 24 from Chullin in the Steinsaltz edition, the Talmud Bavli. So we're going to dive straight in. The Gemara answers that the verse states that with regard to the red heifer, and he shall slaughter, Numbers 19:3, and it mentions the term statute. This is a statute of the Torah, Numbers 19:2, indicating that with slaughter, yes, the red heifer is rendered fit with breaking the neck. The red heifer is not rendered fit. The Gemara asked, and is it so that anywhere that statute is written with regard to a certain matter, we do not learn a fortiori inference? But what about Yom Kippur? With regard to which statute is written, and this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, in Leviticus 16:34. And nevertheless is taught a Baita, and Aaron shall bring forth the goat upon which the lot came up for the Lord, and he shall offer as a sin offering, in Leviticus 16:9. The verse indicates that the lottery, the goal, the lot, what does that mean? So it says in the front note here, the Torah commands lots to be drawn in Yom Kippur over two goats. One sacrifices a sin offering in the temple, and one is and one in the scapegoat sent to Azazel in Leviticus chapter 16. That scapegoat is cast from a desert cliff located 12 to 15 kilometers from Jerusalem. Before passing the goat to the messenger entrusted with taking it to the desert, the high priest will place his hand on the goat's head and symbolically burden it with both the intentional and unwitting sins of the Jewish people. He will then dispatch the goat to the desert with the aforementioned messenger, who was specifically designated for this task. The rite of the scapegoat was an essential part of the Yom Kippur service during the temple times. Renders the goat a sin offering, but a verbal designation of the goat of the status of a sin offering does not render a sin offering. The lottery of the two goats in Yom Kippur is an essential part of the service, as it is the lots that render the sin offering, the animals' sin offerings, and that's from the Rambam Sefer Avodah Hilchot Avodat Yom Kippurim 3:3. Better, okay. The verse continues. The verse is necessary to teach this halacha, as one might have thought that the opposite conclusion is correct. Could this not be derived through an authoritative inference? If in the case where lottery does not sanctify the animal with a specific designation, such as in the case of two birds brought by a woman after childbirth, and nevertheless the very designation of that offering sanctifies it, in a case where the lottery sanctifies the animal, is it logical that a verb designation of a sin offering sanctifies it? Therefore the verse states, and it renders it a sin offering. The lottery renders the goat a sin offering, but a verbal designation of a sin offering does not render the goat a sin offering. The reason that the fortiori inference is not learned is that the verse one writes, and he shall offer it for a sin offering. But otherwise, we would learn a fortiori inference, despite the fact that the statute is written with regard to Yom Kippur service. The Gemara explains, actually, one may learn a fortiori inference even in a case where a statute is written. Nevertheless, with regard to the heifer whose neck is broken, this woman was strictly used to breaking the neck, and all the elders of that city shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck is broken, Deuteronomy 21:6. From the relative pronoun whose it is derived, this heifer is killed by breaking the neck, but no other, i.e. the red heifer is killed by breaking the neck. The Gemara challenges, and let it be derived that the heifer whose neck is broken is rendered fit with slaughter by means of an fortiori inference. If a red heifer, which is not rendered fit with breaking the neck, is rendered fit with slaughter, and with regard to the heifer whose neck is broken, which is rendered fit with breaking the neck, is it logical that it is rendered fit with slaughter? The Gemara responds that the verse states, and shall break the neck of the heifer there in the valley, Deuteronomy 21:4. The double reference to breaking the neck in the two verses indicates by breaking the neck, yes, the heifer may be killed. By slaughter, the heifer may not be killed. There is an element in which priests remain fit and Levites unfit. There is also an element in which Levites remain fit and priests are unfit. The sage is taught about it in the explanation of the Mishnah. Priests are rendered unfit for the temple service with blemishes. Sulim. Any priest with a blemish, whether it is permanent or transient, may not enter the area of the temple from the altar and beyond. If he did so, he is flogged, even if he did not perform the temple service. If he performed the temple service, he violates and desecrates that service. That's the Ram Sefer. Avoda Hilchot Beit HaMikdash, 6:1. A mum, a blemish. Since the blemish is when the priest serves to serve in the temple, the halachot of these blemishes are discussed in Tractate Baruchot. Many of the blemishes that render animals unfit for sacrifice renders priests unfit for temple service. See Leviticus 21:16-24. Although it is prohibited for priests with blemishes to perform the temple service, when employed in certain auxiliary tasks, examining the wood for the altar to ensure it is fit for use. Enumerated in the Torah, see Leviticus 21:16-23. But they remain fit with the passage of years. As for the moment that they reach majority, they are fit for service for the rest of their lives. Levites remain fit for temple service with the blemishes enumerated in Torah are fit for the passage of years. A Levite begins his service in the temple only after reaching majority. A minority is unfit for service. A minor is unfit for service. The age of service on Levites in the Torah, and from the age of 50 years he shall return from the service. Numbers 8:25 applies only when the tasks include carrying the tabernacle from place to place. Once no longer relevant, a Levite is disqualified neither with the passage of years nor with blemishes. He is disqualified only if his voice deteriorates due to old age and he is no longer able to sing in the temple, in accordance with the brides cited in the Gemara. Interesting. The Sefer Avoda Hilchot Kli Hamikdash 378, see the Mari Kirkus, Radbaz, and the Kesef Mishnah there. As they are fit for service only between the age of 30 and 50, in number 447, it is found that there is an element in which priests remain fit and Levites unfit, and there is an element in which Levites remain fit and priests unfit. The Gemara asks, from where did the matter derive? The Gemara answers, is that the sages taught in a Braita. This is that which pertains to Levites in Numbers 8:24. Why must the verse state? Since it is stated, and from the age of 50 years he should return from the service, in Numbers 8:25, we learned with regard to Levites that the passage of years disqualifies them. One might have thought that blemishes disqualified them too, and ostensibly it could be learned through local inference if priests with regard to whom the passage of years does not disqualify them, blemishes disqualify them. In the case of Levites with regard to when the passage of years disqualifies them, it's logical that blemishes disqualify them. Therefore the verse states, this is that which pertains to the Levites. From which is derived this, the passage of years, is a qualification that pertains to Levites, and there is no other disqualification that pertains to the Levites. One might have thought that the priest would be disqualified with the passage of years. Essentially, could this not be derived through the following afforded inference? If Levites with regard to whose blemishes do not disqualify them, the passage of years disqualifies them. Then in the case of priests with regard to whom blemishes disqualify them, it is not logical that the passage of years disqualified. Therefore the verse states which pertains to Levites and not which pertains to the priests. One might have thought that the Levites were disqualified with the passage of years even in Shiloh. So the footnote in Shiloh, when the Jewish people entered the Eretz Yisrael, they erected the tabernacle in Gilgal. They later moved to Shiloh, where it stood for 369 years. Shiloh is located in the tribal land of Ephraim, in Judges 21:19, approximately 35 kilometers north of Jerusalem on the ancient mountain ridge road that traverses the country from north to south. In